Yo, yo, tis I, a poster, Lady Liberty, Clear Colors, and then Tia Clear 2, 8-time champion. Anyways, I'm still kind of sick, so I'm going to be standing up to do my review because I didn't want to pull out my bed. Anyways, but I wanted a steady cam. Could have went outside? Yes, but I'm not feeling like it because I don't want to do anything, right? Anyways, so I've just reviewed two movies, and now I'm going to review a book. It's Stone Butch Blues by Leslie Feinberg. Anyways, I watch Claire Holt, all of her stuff. She is amazing, and she recommended this book. So I listened to the audiobook, and the rights, I guess, are free, so I couldn't buy it on Google Play Books, which I normally read all of my audiobooks to listen to. So Leslie Feinberg, fantastic. One of the best. I keep saying this, it's like History of Wolves, one of the best books I've ever listened to audiobook or just read, basically. And then you got, yes, Jeanette McCurdy is one of the best authors for me personally. And then this is one of the best books I've ever written. And I'm talking about like Alexandre Dumas. I'm talking about Homer's The Odyssey. I'm talking about, these are my favorite books, by the way. Yeah, those are two of my favorites, basically. And then all the screenplays. So Diablo Cody, David Benioff. Diablo Cody for Juno, David Benioff for Troy, Lin-Manuel Miranda for Hamilton. They're some of my favorite works of all time, for sure. And obviously me, Wesley October. Flex. Anyways, yes. Oh, Stephen King's really good, and the lady who did Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling. Oh, and Susan Collins for The Hunger Games. Trying to think. Anyways, but that's all to say. I'm again reviewing Stone Butch Blues. This is one of the best books I have ever written, ever listened to, ever read. Basically, it's called Stone Butch Blues. It's about the I guess she was born in, when was she born? The 50s? When was Leslie Feinberg born? No, thank you. September 1st, 1949. So she was born in the 50s in Kansas City, Missouri. And it's basically her life, like in the lesbian bar scene, and her becoming transgender from a woman to a man and feeling strongly that she identifies as a man. And it's beautiful. It's so harrowing. It's so crazy. It's just so poetic without trying. It just feels like very, not watery. It just feels like very, like wind and water. It feels just so fluid and poetic without yelling, you know? But it's yelling and it's emotion and it's fire and it's passion. And it just blew me away. Like, it's so fantastic. The writing is so exquisite. And the story is just insane. It's so insane. You know, how again, fallible human beings do awful things where you're like, fallibility is not an excuse, you know? You guys are just being evil and awful and just heinous acts of just like I don't know, YouTube, if you're gonna censor me or not, but just like sexual assault by police officers, violence, abuse, just like constantly, and just like, and raids where they're just basically like sexually assaulting and terrorizing these women for just being themselves and existing, you know, in the queer culture. And I think it was like the Stonewall. There's an incident where where people actually stood up for and tried, and like over time it changed the tide, but like for the longest time, it was happening all over the world, where there was like, first you couldn't be gay or queer, basically. Then it was like, they're like just abusing you, basically, in every possible awful way, basically. And it just kept promoting. And I think in the 70s, kind of the tide kind of changed and people started up for them. It was like the what was the gay bar where they stood up for queer people in Stonewall? Sorry, I was looking it up. It was the Stonewall Inn in 1969, where police try to do a raid. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna go abuse these women sexually and physically and terrorize them," basically. And then there were protesters, and the protesters forced all the police officers to go in the bar, and then they had to barricade themselves in the bar. But yeah, it's just like constantly, it's just so crazy. Like time after time after time, different scene. They're like, they're opening the cell doors to assault them or force them to do sexual acts, basically. And then they're going to the bars and sexually assaulting them, or just like they're getting swindled in their jobs and they're just getting put down, and just again, just discrimination, prejudice, and just hate, attack, and just assault, sexual attacks, sexual assaults, terrorizing, and it's just about Leslie Feinberg. Just talking about her life, just trying to figure out who she is, who she wants to be, a relationship between her lovers and her relationships, and it's just so beautiful. And her relationship between like her family, who treats her like garbage, and total trash, and trying to figure out where she belongs in life, and trying to find her identity, and how she leaves her family, and how she's going through all these circumstances, and then society is against her, and it's just beautifully, masterfully told, and it's so sad, it's so emotional. The book's not even that long, and just the writing, every letter has just a mastery and this strong essence to it that says like I don't know, like it's just a very screaming movie that's yelling so loud, but it's not, it's so soft spoken, and it's so exquisitely told, and it's just a harrowing story, it's like I can't help imagine me as a straight guy. I was like, what would I do in this situation? I would do all these things, And I'm saying this as a straight guy in 2026. I'm 20 years old. It's easy for me to say all these things, It's just like it's such a different world. It's such a different thinking for me to even imagine this. And I've had conversations with people about like how insane the book is, or even segregation or anything where like there's a large group being oppressed, or even the Holocaust. Like it's so crazy to me as like someone who's privileged to be in America. I have like first world problems, even though I'm disabled, or I have a disability that like makes it hard for me to like lift. Like it's a stiff person syndrome. Like my muscles, and it's a neurological condition, and just makes me hard to think and lift things and just do things. I don't make any sudden movements. Like physically, it's a huge constraint, and I'm in constant pain, like 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10 pain all the time. I just still can't imagine the amount of prejudice and turmoil and adversity these people go through. And just hearing the stories is just so humbling, and just like, it just makes you think. It just makes you question everything, And I'm already a person who does question everything. Like, even though I have so many flaws, I still am so privileged to live in America, in a country of ideally, like the land of the brave, and the life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and just access to water or grocery store, or just like no one's bothering me about anything. And no one's bullying me. I'm being harassed or prejudiced. I'm not being forced to do anything. And it's just a position checker where you kind of just really value and understand and relish the appreciation that you have for being in a first world country, and being able to have a chance, because these people did not at all, and you're learning about it, and you have to remember it and acknowledge it and never forget it, and it's just beautifully told. It's just fantastic. Stone Butch Blues, Leslie Feinberg. It's just so sad, but it's so like not coming of age movie, but just that feeling of just like overcoming is present through the entire book, no matter how tragic the event is. And she just has such a positive, unrelenting fierceness to her throughout all of these things, that she never stops, And it's a beautiful thing that you want to take into your life, and it's told so poetically, and this fluidity that doesn't really have a description. It's just an essence of something that's again, the word exquisite is the one word I would describe this book. And I think it's a must read. Ooh, yeah. And one of the best books I've ever read. I don't know. It's just, again, you get those stories from people in real life. This is why people should go outside in real life that just change your life. Because you're like, well, you just understand other people's lives, and you understand your life, and you understand that like life is finite. You're only alive for a certain amount of time, for X number of decades, and then you're out of here, and it's up to the next generation, and to pass the baton and just, maximize your life and live it to the fullest and be happy. And never forget the adversity of people in the past. But choose to make the best life possible, and it's about love, and it's about love for me, and I think in this book it's about love and just a passion for life, and trying to figure that out no matter whatever the adversity or the obstacles in life is, and it's something beautifully told. Leslie Feinberg, Stone Butch Blues, masterpiece.